The wind tore across the icy plains of Kelithar, a planet far from human colonies, so bitter that even the thickest human suits shivered under its assault. Explorer Alex pressed forward, his breath forming frozen clouds in front of him. His boots sank slightly into the crusted snow with every step, but he did not slow. He had a mission: to survey the frozen planet for human colonization possibilities. Yet even he had to admit the beauty of Kelithar's icy expanse could not disguise its danger. Jagged ice cliffs stretched endlessly, and shimmering frost crystals caught the pale sun like scattered diamonds. Alex's radio crackled. "Alex, check in. Are you still on schedule?" It was Commander Hayes from the orbiting ship. "Copy that, Commander," Alex replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "The terrain is rougher than expected, but I'm making progress." There was a pause, then a warning. "Be careful. Temperatures are dropping faster than predicted. Kelithar's storms can arrive suddenly." Alex shivered despite his heavy suit. He had been trained for extreme conditions, yet something about this place felt alive, almost aware of him. He pressed forward, scanning the horizon, when a flash of movement caught his eye. It was humanoid, but unlike anything he had seen. Pale blue skin, taller than an average human, and eyes that shimmered like frozen lakes. She moved with grace, yet Alex saw the alert tension in her posture. He froze. The woman's voice came, strange yet clear in broken English. "You, human, why here?" Alex raised his hand slowly. "Explorer. Survey mission. I mean no harm." The woman studied him carefully. Then, as if sensing the weather behind him, she spoke urgently. "Storm coming. Very cold. You survive?" Before he could respond, the wind shifted. A snowstorm blew across the plains with terrifying speed. Snow pelted him like tiny knives, and Alex realized he had little time. Visibility dropped to near zero, and even his protective suit could not fight the freezing blast for long. The alien woman, Lyria, gestured sharply toward a narrow ice crevice partially hidden behind snowdrifts. "Here, shelter. Quick." Alex stumbled through the snow, following her. The crevice widened into a small natural cavern, surprisingly warm compared to the blizzard outside. He could feel the heat radiating faintly from the rock. Inside, he removed his helmet, letting the warm, humid air hit his frozen face. Lyria moved with ease, inspecting the chamber. "Safe, but cold. You?" "Not enough," Alex nodded. "I know. My suit won't last the night in this storm." She studied him, then with a glance that mixed practicality and subtle command said, "Too cold. We must share one bed." "Sleep together," Alex froze. He glanced at the small platform at the back of the cavern, a natural formation resembling a bed of rock and snow compacted. It was barely big enough for one, yet she gestured for him to join. He hesitated, caught between human instinct and the need to survive. The storm outside roared, and he realized she was right. "All right," he said finally, trying to keep his voice calm. "We'll share the space." The alien woman, Lyria, nodded. "Good. Trust. Survive." He stepped closer, careful not to invade her personal space, and settled onto the icy platform. Lyria curled beside him, her body radiating warmth that was unusual for her species but comforting to him. They stayed silent at first, listening to the storm thrash against the cavern's entrance. Minutes passed. The silence between them became a strange comfort. Alex looked at her again, blue skin shimmering faintly in the dim light, eyes reflecting the cavern walls like mirrors. He realized that in this harsh environment, survival forced trust, and trust had created a bond without words. Finally, he spoke. "I'm Alex, explorer like I said. Lyria, born here. No storm. Survive." Her voice was soft now, almost human in its emotion. They began talking in broken English, sharing pieces of their worlds. Alex learned that Lyria's people had lived on Kelithar for generations. Their bodies adapted to the cold, their knowledge of survival unmatched by any human technology. Lyria learned of human colonies, spaceships, and exploration missions. Hours passed, and the storm outside showed no sign of slowing. The wind whistled around the cavern, and snow pressed against the entrance like a living thing. Alex realized that if he had been alone, he might not have lasted the night. Lyria, though alien, had saved him. "You? Strong human," she said after a pause. "Not only body and mind." "Clever," Alex smiled faintly. "I guess humans survive in many ways. Sometimes with tools, sometimes with friends." Lyria tilted her head. "Friends? Important." "Yes," she shivered slightly. Alex noticed her reaction, realizing even her species adapted to cold could suffer in this storm. He offered a reassuring smile. "We'll get through this night." Her eyes softened. "Yes, survive together." The storm howled for hours. They shared stories to keep fear at bay. Alex spoke of Earth, of bustling cities, green forests, and warm oceans. Lyria told him about Kelithar, how her people harvested ice crystals, navigated the dangerous winds, and avoided predators that could crush even the largest humans. They laughed quietly when Alex tried to mimic Lyria's delicate movements on the ice, slipping once or twice on the cavern floor. Lyria's laughter was melodic, almost musical, a sound that seemed to counter the storm outside. Later, Alex noticed faint scratches along the walls of the cavern, evidence of creatures moving just beyond the entrance. He mentioned it to Lyria. "They, hunters. Avoid if warm, safe." "Here," she said calmly. Her confidence reassured him, but Alex could see the tension in her stance. Survival here was never guaranteed. As night deepened, exhaustion took over. Alex closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the warmth of Lyria beside him. He thought of how strange this moment was. Two strangers from different worlds forced together by nature, finding comfort in mutual survival. Lyria's voice broke the quiet. "Alex, and awake?" "Yes, what is it?" "Storm may change. Creatures move. We must be ready." Her eyes were sharp, scanning the cavern entrance. He nodded. "I'm ready. We can handle it together." They adjusted their positions to conserve warmth, bodies close but careful. Every shiver of wind outside reminded them of their vulnerability. Yet in this forced closeness, they learned to trust instinctively. Hours passed. The storm showed signs of weakening, but faint howls echoed from outside. Alex realized they were not alone on Kelithar. Its beauty was deceptive. Life here was survival of the clever and adaptable. He looked at Lyria and felt a quiet admiration. Not only had she saved him from the cold, but she had also taught him resilience. Lyria broke the silence again, softer this time. "Human. Clever. Brave. Survive, yes?" Alex smiled, tired but sincere. "We survived. Because we worked together. Because we trusted each other." Her expression softened, and she seemed almost to smile. Trust. Rare. Humans. Learn fast. The storm gradually eased, leaving only the quiet whisper of wind outside. Alex allowed himself to rest, comforted by the strange bond they had formed. It was unusual, this connection with an alien being, but necessity had a way of creating understanding where words alone could not. As he drifted toward sleep, he reflected on the day's events. He had seen the alien world faced a deadly storm, and survived thanks to Lyria. He realized that humans could endure anything, not just because of technology or strength, but because of the ability to adapt, to trust, and to work with others, even those completely different from them. And so, in the frozen cavern on Kelithar, two beings from different worlds lay together, safe from the storm outside. One night, forced by the harsh planet, had forged a bond neither could have predicted. Alex closed his eyes, comforted not only by warmth but by the knowledge that humanity's greatest strength was not just survival, but the courage to trust and unite, even in the most extreme circumstances. Outside, the wind continued to howl, but inside the cavern, two hearts, one human, one alien, beat in quiet companionship, ready to face whatever the icy world would throw at them next. Morning came slowly on Kelithar. The storm had ended, leaving the frozen plains sparkling under the pale alien sun. Alex stirred, feeling the warmth of Lyria beside him, and realized that they had survived the night together. Outside, the world looked peaceful, but he knew better. Kelithar was beautiful, but it was a dangerous beauty, full of predators, shifting ice, and deadly winds. Lyria was already awake, moving carefully around the cavern. "Take clear." "We leave soon," she said. Her eyes scanned the horizon. "Path safe for now." Alex got up, brushing snow from his suit. "I never thought I would be so glad to see a frozen plain look calm," he said with a faint smile. Lyria tilted her head, regarding him curiously. "Humans, funny. Adapt fast, survive. Clever," he laughed softly. "We have to or we die." "Looks like you do too," she nodded, a small smile forming. "Yes, no cold. No danger. Live long." They stepped out of the cavern together. The wind was still sharp, but not as fierce as during the storm. The snow glittered under the weak sunlight, reflecting shades of blue and silver. Alex followed Lyria as she led him along a hidden path she had known since childhood. Her knowledge of the terrain was impressive. She navigated through narrow crevices, jagged ice cliffs, and thin ice sheets without hesitation. Alex struggled to keep up, but he used human ingenuity to mark safe spots, create temporary supports, and anticipate hazards. At one point, they came across a deep crevasse. Alex peered down and saw dark shapes moving far below. Lyria froze. Hunters. Dangerous? Wait, Alex nodded. Hunters? Yes, creatures. Prey everything. Humans not usually. Survive long, clever. Stay high. Her voice was calm, but the tension in her body was clear. He thought quickly. Using some rope from his pack, Alex tied a makeshift bridge to a solid ice formation. Lyria watched, impressed.
Humans think fast.
Smart. They crossed the crevasse carefully. Each step required trust. Lyria trusted Alex's human ingenuity, and Alex trusted Lyria's instincts about the alien terrain. Together, they moved efficiently, surviving dangers that would have been fatal alone. As they walked, they shared stories to pass the time. Lyria explained how her people survived in Kelithar's freezing environment, their traditions and their careful ways of hunting and gathering ice crystals. Alex shared human innovations, tools, and exploration strategies. Their conversations were light at times, serious at others, but always honest and engaging. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed from a distance. Alex froze. Lyria stiffened beside him. Hunters. Close, very fast. Hide? Before they could react, a pack of native predators burst from a ridge ahead. They were massive quadrupedal creatures with jagged claws and thick fur to withstand the cold. Their eyes glowed faintly, tracking movement across the snow. Alex's mind raced. He had studied Kelithar's wildlife, but seeing them up close was another matter. Lyria crouched, signaling him to do the same. Trap. Clever, fast, human, Alex nodded. Using a combination of rope, ice spikes, and quick thinking, he began setting traps. Lyria moved with him, agile and precise, using her knowledge of the creature's habits to predict their movements. Together, they created a narrow path leading the predators into a canyon where the traps could immobilize them. The creatures lunged, snapping at snow and ice. Alex's traps worked perfectly, and Lyria's guidance ensured that none of them came too close. Within moments, the predators were contained, growling but unable to escape. Alex breathed heavily, feeling the adrenaline fade. You. Smart, strong. Survive, yes? Lyria said, her voice tinged with admiration. Alex smiled, tired but proud. We survived, together. They continued walking, careful but more confident. Each step reinforced their understanding of one another. Alex realized that humans and aliens could work together not just to survive but to thrive, combining intelligence, adaptability, and instinct. By mid-afternoon, they reached a plateau overlooking a frozen valley. The ice glowed faintly under the sun, and for a moment the danger seemed distant. Alex marveled at the landscape. It's beautiful, he said. Yes, harsh but alive. Important, Lyria replied. She gestured to the valley below. Food, water. Survive, find humans? Alex nodded. There's a human team nearby. We can signal them from here. Lyria's eyes lit up. Good, safe. Humans, learn. Clever. Together, they set up a temporary signal using reflective ice crystals and mirrors from Alex's pack. The sun's light caught the crystals, sending flashes across the sky. After tense minutes, they saw a response. A human shuttle approaching from orbit. Relief washed over Alex. We made it, he said quietly. Lyria smiled faintly. Yes, survive. Together, trust. Important. When the shuttle landed, the humans rushed to them, amazed at their survival. Commander Hayes clapped Alex on the shoulder. You made it through one of the harshest storms we've ever seen. And you're not alone. Who's this? This is Lyria, Alex said. She saved me, guided me, helped me survive. The humans looked at her in awe. Lyria nodded politely, her posture dignified yet relaxed. Lyria, help! Humans survive, she said. Commander Hayes shook his head in disbelief. Impressive. Never thought anyone could survive Kelithar without full support. You two make a good team. Alex and Lyria exchanged a quiet glance, a small smile passing between them. They had learned to trust, respect, and work together. Survival had forged a bond stronger than words alone could describe. As they boarded the shuttle, Alex looked back at the frozen plains. The storm had passed, but Kelithar had left its mark on him. The planet was unforgiving, but it had shown him the power of collaboration, courage, and intelligence. He realized that humanity's strength was not just in technology or physical ability, but in the ability to adapt, think, and trust, even beings from a completely different world. During the flight back to the human base, Lyria sat beside Alex. Humans. Strange, clever, survive, strong, she said softly. Alex smiled. And aliens. Strong, wise, brave, survive, teach me. For a moment, silence filled the shuttle, comfortable and unforced. Two beings from different worlds had survived impossible odds together. They had shared warmth, knowledge, and trust. The storm had brought them together, and survival had created a connection neither would forget. When they arrived at the base, the human scientists were eager to study the environment, the planet and Lyria's unique biology. Yet Alex knew that the most important lesson of Kelithar could not be measured in instruments or data. It was the lesson of resilience, trust, and the bond formed in adversity. Lyria stayed with the humans for a while, observing, learning, and sharing her knowledge. She and Alex continued to work together, training others in survival techniques and creating strategies to explore Kelithar safely. Their teamwork became legendary among the human explorers. One evening, as the sun dipped below the icy horizon, Alex and Lyria stood outside the base, watching the frozen world shimmer. You, human, clever, strong, survive. Yes, Lyria asked. Yes, Alex said, looking at her. We survived. Together. And I think we can survive anything if we work like this. She nodded, her eyes reflecting the fading sunlight. Together? Yes, trust. Important. Alex realized something then. Kelithar had been more than a test of endurance. It had been a reminder of what humans could do when faced with extreme challenges. Adaptability, intelligence, courage, and the willingness to trust others. These were the qualities that made them remarkable. And now he saw that these qualities were not exclusive to humans. Lyria had them too. The night fell, cold but calm. Alex felt a sense of peace he had not expected. The frozen planet, once threatening and merciless, had become a place of learning, of connection, and of mutual respect. He looked at Lyria and thought of how strange and wonderful it was that survival had brought them together. As the stars began to shine above the icy plains, Alex knew that Kelithar would stay with him forever, not just as a frozen world, but as a symbol of humanity's strength, the power of trust, and the bonds that could form even across the boundaries of different worlds. In the silence of the night, human and alien walked side by side, ready to face the future, knowing that together they could endure anything. And somewhere deep in the ice of Kelithar, the storm had passed, leaving behind a bond that neither human nor alien would ever forget.